Good evening. This is BelGeode, and we are back with some more Microsoft Flight Simulator. And welcome to Part 4, which is our last leg for our Hawaiian tour. To remind you, the aircraft that we have been using for this tour is IndiaFoxtEcho's rendition of the Rutan Long-EZ, one of my absolute favorite kit planes. I would love to be able to build and fly one in real life. But since that's not an option, we're going to do it in Microsoft Flight Simulator, so you can see all the various liveries that we've got there. Pretty cool. We are still engines on at our fourth stop along the journey, so we're going to zoom into Mother Earth here, and I'll catch you up as to where we are in case you missed any of the previous episodes. So we began our tour at Hana on the island of Maui, and we flew to Lanai on the island of Lanai. And then for our second leg, we flew to Kalawapapa on the island of Molokai. And for our third leg, we made it here to Oahu. And this is Dillingham Airfield. That's where we are currently. So for our last leg, it's going to be Blue Water Ops here. We're going to take off from Dillingham, and we're going to continue heading west. And we're going to eventually bring it into Port Allen on the island of Kauai. In fact, I might even do a little bit of shenanigans along the way, since this is the last leg of our journey, and so far I haven't really shown you everything that this aircraft can really do, if you know what I mean. All right, so now that we've got that set, let's go ahead and hop into the aircraft, and we will get back on the scene at South Oak Company's version of Dillingham Airport, and we'll go flying for that last leg to Kauai. Howdy, folks, and welcome back to the Hawaii tour as we take a look at all of the airports created by South Oak Company Scenery, and we are in Dillingham. This is going to be the very last leg of the tour, where we're going to be traveling from Dillingham Airfield in Oahu west to the island of Kauai, where we will be landing at Port Allen. And our chariot for the day is the same one that we've been using for the past 3 videos. This is IndiaFoxtEcho's Rutan Long-EZ. One of my absolute favorite experimental birds that I would love to be able to fly in real life. Really, really glad that Dino was able to get this thing to fly pretty close to what it is supposed to be able to do in real life, because it is such a joy to fly. If you haven't picked this one up, I definitely recommend it. All right, so we only have one leg to go, but let's go ahead and get everything set up here. I'm thinking our cruise altitude, we should probably go back up to about 6,000 feet. It's going to be all water for this journey, but I do want to be able to see the island as it's coming up, so we're going to make sure that we're at least high enough to do that, or at least over the first layer of clouds here. There are a lot of clouds. Now, you may have noticed in this series of videos, the FPS has dropped off a little bit. That's partly due to these clouds. I actually have them running on ultra right now. Typically, I have them running on high, but I decided instead to run them on ultra to see if it actually made a difference. And it does make a difference in the quality of the clouds, not so much in the FPS of the clouds. But hopefully, by the time you are watching this video, we should all have Sim Update 5 installed on our Microsoft Flight Simulator, and that should have given us a significant boost in performance. Although I won't know at the time that I am recording this. I can only hope that everything actually worked out and the world did not burn down by the time you saw this video. All right, let's go ahead and get our canopy closed. And we are still squawking 3011, which is fine. We'll change it around after we take off. I am going to need to tell them that we would like to take off. So let's select a runway. We're going to go with 8. We're going to tell them we're going to taxi.
Papa Hotel Delta Hotel traffic November 70 Alpha Golf Bravo is taxiing to runway 8.
Sounds good to me. Okay. Once again, there's no landing lights on this thing, so you don't have to worry about that. Of course, the flip side to that is you can't really do nighttime operations. So keep that in mind if you do decide to use this aircraft. And also, I will remind you that this thing has no parking brakes under normal circumstances. So if you would like to have parking brakes, my suggestion would be learn to get familiar with the aircraft.cfg file. Or actually, I think it's the systems file. I'll have to look it up again. Or you can all petition Dino to make an addition of parking brakes to this bird. It's a good idea to have, I think, anyway. All right, this is not going to be a very long taxi, so we won't need to go to the outside view. But I will say this, I am going to come back here at some point in time with an ultralight and fly around this island. I would love to do that. That would be so awesome. All right, I think this is going to be our turn here. Yeah, this is still part of the runway overrun, so we'll just kind of park it right here for now. We'll tell them we're going to take off, and we will let them know that we are departing to the west, which always seems weird when I know we're taking off to the
Delta
east.
Hotel traffic November 70 Alpha Golf Bravo taking off runway 8 departure to the west.
Now, I paused for a second because I'm looking at these gliders and thinking, I remember when I was invited out to Seattle for the world premiere, if you will, of Microsoft Flight Simulator, where we all got a chance to see it and then eventually talk about it. I distinctly remember, as part of the categories that they had that you could pick aircraft from, gliders were in there. So they were initially planned, but I'm not quite certain what exactly happened to prevent us from getting at least one glider in the flight sim. But I would definitely love to see gliders make an appearance because this sim is actually kind of perfect for it due to the way that the air mass and the winds are modeled. So, there you go. All right, brakes off. We still have a little ways to go to the threshold of runway 8. We could probably just take off from here. I mean, it's paved. It'll work. May forego the whole brakes down, throttles up business, however. So let's start pulling the power up. Throttle is at 85%. 90%. Full power. We're looking for 65 to 70 knots. Right about there, we'll rotate. And we are up. Gear coming up. I still love that little hole in the floor there. That's so cool. And we are airborne. Love it. All right, we don't want to stall though, so let's shallow up our ascent here. And our speed brakes are still down. Oh boy. Wow, I should have checked that. Okay, but the speed brakes are up now, so we're good to go. And at least we learned something today. You can actually take off with the speed brakes down and not crash. So, yay. Let's hear it for that. All right, so we're going to say goodbye to Oahu because we're going to make our left-hand turn. We're going to contact the ATC really quick. I realize I don't have the fuel pump on, but I'm not sure that I'm actually going to need it right now. So Honolulu Approach it is. Request flight following.
Honolulu Approach November 70 Alpha Golf Bravo is type 2 miles east of Papa Hotel Delta Hotel 1000 feet. Request flight following.
November 70 Alpha Golf Bravo Honolulu Approach. Squawk 5207.
5207 it is.
Squawk 5207 Alpha Golf Bravo.
Alpha Golf Bravo radar contact 1 miles northeast of Papa Hotel Delta Hotel 1,500 feet. Altimeter 29.95.
29.95. Got it.
Roger Alpha Golf Bravo.
All right, now we can kick on the autopilot. Can't really see the island of Kauai from here. It is out there though, and that is where we're heading. So we'll say goodbye to Dillingham, another superb airport from South Oak. And we'll take a look at the weather stations up there. This is what I was trying to show you in the previous video. I know there are more than just the two little radar domes there. But unfortunately, I forgot to install the scenery that will show all of that. So my apologies. Let's go ahead and set ourselves up though for autopilot. So nav hold is on and we are climbing to 6,000. So we'll take one final look at the beautiful island of Oahu. I guess there is an extra dish there, huh? Or dome, as the case may be. Very nice, very nice. All right, so our last stop, Kauai. And while we're climbing up to 6,000, let's go ahead and go back to the outside view. All right, so we have officially left Oahu, and we are at the waypoint just to the west of the island to begin the long sprint towards Kauai. So it's going to take us a little while to get there, and honestly, I don't really have much to talk about as far as this aircraft goes. I've pretty much discussed everything that it comes with, so, you know, it's pretty easy to use. And as far as the scenery, well, there's no point really talking about the scenery until we're actually there. So as soon as we reach our cruise altitude, which should be right about now, what I will do is I will pull the mixture knob back. We're going to put our mixture knob right there. And we are going to set ourselves at about 90% on the throttle. We're going to make our slight turn, as you can see the aircraft is wanting to do. And then, of course, we're going to go to the outside view one more time. And through the magic of editing, we will come back in when we're just about at top of descent. Now, the good news for those of you who prefer shorter videos, that will definitely eat up a good chunk of time. All right, so once again, through the magic of editing, we have managed to push ourselves forward, and of course, we made some slight changes to the weather. You may have noticed that closer to Kauai, it's starting to rain. Whew. Doesn't look like it's too bad, though. I don't think it should really humbug our landing, but I do have a couple of things that I would like to do. So before we get to that waypoint, let's see. Number one, if we can get a weather brief from somewhere. So let's see, nearest airport list. I believe Leeway is the main airport there, so they're bound to have a weather station. Yep. And we'll listen in.
Leeview Airport Information, Quebec 22000. Wind 080 at 14.
Oof.
Visibility 6 and rain. Sky condition 1,000 feet. Scattered 4,700 feet scattered. Temperature 15. Dew point 13. Altimeter 29.85.
Oh, it's dropped again.
Runway tree in use. Landing and departing runway tree. DSR aircraft, say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact. You have Quebec.
Okay. Well, we may have Quebec, but we are not landing there. We are coming in at Port Allen. So let's see what runways they have there. Runway 9 and 27. Okay, given the fact that the wind is coming out of the east, so we've actually got a pretty stiff tailwind right now. Runway 9 is what we want. Full stop landing and announce position.
Papa Hotel Papa Alpha traffic November 70 Alpha Golf Bravo 20 miles east, 6,000 feet inbound to land runway 9er.
All right, now I'm going to get our mixture back on full and our fuel pump switch on because it is going to be time to take the autopilot off. I'll let the autopilot kind of correct us to the direction that we should be heading, and we'll start bringing ourselves in. I really want to do a loop. I really do want to do a loop. So as soon as this thing is finished lining itself up here, let me zoom us back in. I actually zoomed it out so I could see just how far we had to go before we get to where we need to. So there we go. That is what, 5 miles distance? 10 miles is fine. We're pretty much at our waypoint. and welcome to the island of Kauai. This is our final destination. It may look familiar to some of you who recall my video on DC Design's F-15 Eagle and Strike Eagle. That video took place on this island, and we were actually going the opposite way around. We were landing in Oahu. There is the airport that we just contacted to get our weather brief right there. So that's not where we're going to be landing. Now, I have featured that in a chill video that I did with the VR pilot. And I definitely do recommend his channel. Sorry, having audio issues there. We'll just take that out in post. But yes, I do recommend the VR pilot's channel if you are interested in seeing some really awesome VR videos. And of course, he is a real-life ATC, so definitely want to listen to him when he talks about some of the things that carry over between MSFS and real life. But as for us, let's go ahead and get our autopilot off, because I feel like doing some shenanigans. So once again, we will give it a little bit of forward stick. And I'm going to be mindful of my heading right now, so okay. Right there is going to be a direct heading to Port Allen, but I really want to do a loop. So let me see if I can pull this off here. I'm going to aim for this little hole here, so that'll give us a little bit of real estate. I'd rather not do this in IFR weather. All right, and we're going to bring her down to probably about 4,000 feet, thereabouts. You'll notice I'm really starting to peg the speedometer or the airspeed indicator right now. We're at 190. Definitely enough airspeed for us to pull off a loop. So I'm going to bring us down to about 4,000 feet. Point us back in the correct direction. And in this little clear spot here is where we're going to perform our loop. So hope you're ready, folks. Here it comes. Right about there's our lineup, 4,000, and let's pull her up, way up, way up, way up. We're in the vertical. Keep bringing her around. We're at stall speed, and we're also at the top of our loop. We'll keep bringing her down. We're at 5,000 feet, and we're back down to 4. Very nice. Very, very nice. So yeah, if you've got enough power, you can do anything with this thing. As a matter of fact, let's try that again, only from the outside. I love it. Oh, I've wanted to do that for so long, for 4 episodes even. Yeah, It's good to get it out of my system. All right, well, as you can see, we ended up in a rain cloud. We're a little bit lower than we initially started. We're at 2,500, so not too shabby. Not too shabby. I'm going to swing out this way. Give it a little bit of right rudder here. And we are going to do what the Navy boys call a run and brake. So we know that we need to land facing in the opposite direction. You can see our destination airport, Port Allen, right there. And I'm going to go downwind first. And we're going to do our run and brake. So first things first, we're going to need to slow down considerably. So let's get that speed brake out once more. There we go, looking good. We'll go ahead and tell them that we are on downwind leg.
Papa Hotel Papa Alpha Traffic November 70 Alpha Golf Bravo is on downwind runway 9er.
All right. But they have no idea what fun stuff we have in store for them. So we're going to bring it down to probably about 800. So we'll make it kind of like a carrier brake here. Because usually you do your carrier brake at 800 feet. But there it is. That is the last airport for South Oak Company's scenery. And I have to say, it's got a lot of charm to it. Looks like it's got some fair amount of real estate as well. I like it. I like it. All right. So we'll begin our brake here. We'll keep bringing her down to about 800. We're really going to do this the way that the carrier guys would do it. So that means that on our downwind leg, the next time around, we'll be dropping our gear. I mean, it makes sense. We've got the fighter pilot livery here. All right, well, we're at 700 right now, so we'll need to come back up a bit. We'll go alongside the runway here. Make sure we're properly lined up. All right, well, we're actually at 600, so we're already a little bit lower than we should be. But I'm going to give us some throttle here. And look at that big green hangar. Wow. You know what? I think I want to park there. I think that'll be the perfect ending to this. Yeah, that's going to be our parking spot for sure. All right, so let's begin our brake at 600. So we're in the turn. We'll give it a little bit of pedal here. Make sure we don't climb too much. Looks like some kind of fishing vessel there. Speed brakes are still down, which is fine by me. So we'll pull the power back a bit, so that way we can get our gear out. Gear's coming down now. There it goes. And we're going to tell them that we are on final.
Papa Hotel Papa Alpha Traffic November 70 Alpha Golf Bravo is on final runway 9er to land.
Okay. So I'm going to extend it a little bit here, since we don't actually have to call the ball. And we'll bring her in. So we're at 80. And we'll start coming down. There we go, looking good. Normally I would go to the outside view, but you know what? We'll forego that this time because I really just want to land. It's been about 2 hours that I've been flying now. That's the only downside to making these long videos, which is why I tend to avoid them. We are awfully low, but you know what? I'm going to work with it. Over the fence we go, and we'll bring the bird in to roost. Cutting the power, nose up a little, and half a runway to work with. Ooh, are we floaty? Oh, crap. That was a carrier landing is what that was. Holy crap. I'm pretty sure we caught a 3-wire on that one. But regardless, welcome, folks, to our final destination for this tour. This is Port Allen on the island of Kauai. And you can see why I saved the best for last. Look at that. It's got helicopters. That is so cool. And it's got quads. That's even cooler. I love it. Absolutely love it. So, just to remind you, all of these airports that I have been showing you over the last 4 videos are by South Oak Company Scenery. Their sceneries are available on the links in the video description below. And of course, the link for this aircraft will also be there as well. This has been the IndiaFoxtEcho Rutan Long-EZ, Dino Cataneo's company there. And it is an excellent, excellent aircraft. I'm thinking I want to back in there. What do you think, folks? Can we back in there maybe? Oh, we're going to try it. We are going to try it. All right. Now I know I am not lined up at all, but trust me on this one. I've got a plan. So parking brake is off. I'm going to pop this up and I'm going to show you another little add-on that you can have. Pushback menu. Okay. So in order to use this, it is probably best used in the outside mode, but we can use it here. I just need to crane my head around. So I'm going to set us for reverse. And we can use the rudder actually to guide us backwards. So it's almost like we're driving in reverse here, which is pretty cool. Let's check the left wing, make sure we've got clearance. We certainly do not. Well, we just clipped the wing, but that's okay. The aircraft's bought and paid for. We can afford to damage it because we can afford to replace it. All right. Right about there should be good. So we'll go end pushback. Perfect. Close this up. And close this up. Put our parking brakes on. Alrighty, folks. So that is it. And I want to thank you profusely for joining me on this little journey of mine. We traveled pretty much down the entire Hawaiian island chain, with the exception, of course, of the largest island, Hawaii itself, and the smallest island just to the west of here. I forget the name of it. I know it starts with an N, but forgive me. I don't remember the name. But regardless, I sincerely hope that you have enjoyed everything that you have seen. As always, this has been BelGeode. I have been flying in Microsoft Flight Simulator. To remind you, the aircraft that I've been showing off has been Dino Cataneo or IndiaFoxtEcho's Rutan Long-EZ. So it's Dino's rendition of the Long-EZ. The scenery is by South Oak Company, and links to everything will be in the video description below as always, should you decide that you would like to try this for yourself. Alrighty, folks, so what are we going to do next? I have no idea, but I will tell you this. I am going to go for a little walk around while the closing credits are going. So, thank you again for watching. If you enjoy what you've seen, please feel free to give me a like. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. And I will be back at some point in time soon with some more Microsoft Flight Simulator goodness. Until then, I wish you all a pleasant evening. Ciao!